Yo, what's up? Uh, I know I said I was gonna use this channel as a gaming channel, but honestly, most of the time I say some pretty outrageous stuff that will probably get my videos taken down, or if not, my channel deleted. So I try to just make small clips or whatever. But I'd rather why not just talk? Why not make those those one of those weird videos you find on your feed, and you're just like, oh, look at this weird person talking some random nonsense. But we're not here about that. I'm here to just talk about myself. I'm not gonna tell you guys who I am. If you know, like those who know. But I guess I'm gonna talk about relationships, right? I know first of all, just to set the record straight, you should not take my things, my things seriously. Think it's a fucking joke. But um, and also, since I'm gonna be talking about relationships, just know that I'm fucking single. Right? I am single. I have no girl on my name. Or dating, whatever. So I guess I'll talk about how many relationships I've been in my 18 years of living. I'm 18, by the way. In those 18 years, I've only dated, well, not really dated, only seen one person. I'm not even joking. I've only seen one person in my whole life. One person. And that one person, we lasted for 3 weeks. 3 weeks, right? Which is whoa, what the hell? Like, you may think oh, what did you do? What did I do? Listen, all right, I want to tell the source, and mostly because our quote unquote anniversary, not really anniversary, but the time we started talking more as friends is coming up, which is around December, sometime this month. I forgot when, but I think December 20th or some shit like that. But yeah, we don't really talk anymore. So we do, but it's she either makes fun of me or she just says some random bullshit. Right? So yeah. So basically, here's where it started. So it was I was in high school. I graduated this year. So it was high school. It was around December ish that you know we were going on holiday break, winter break, and before the end of break, I went to my math classroom where her friends, and her other friend was there, and we started talking, and just because they were watching the Matilda movie. I forgot the name. It was Little Rascals. They were watching Little Rascals. Her favorite character was Matilda. This and that. Oh, I don't like Matilda. She's I just don't like her. So you know, I talked about it, and then her friend asked me a girlfriend, if you had a girlfriend question, right? The question was, if you saw another guy talking to your girl, talking about sort of hitting on her, would you step in? Well, I told her, well, yeah, I would. I mean, kind of an obvious question. You see you see your girl getting hit on. Well, you're gonna tell, hey, you're gonna eventually step in. You're not just gonna leave your girl, right? And obviously, I said that. I'm gonna step in. Obviously, I'm not gonna make a scene. I'm gonna be calm. Clear things out. And that was my response. And well, I guess she seemed interested. I don't remember. But anyways, right there and then, her friend, the one that asked me the question, asks for my Instagram, right? Which I gave it to her because I had random posts from that summer on my account, so it's whatever. What the hell they're gonna see anyway? I'm already a weird kid, so I gave them my Instagram. I gave her. We'll name this friend Molly, right? I give Molly my Instagram, right? Now Molly has my Instagram. Now we're friends. Well, followers. What I did not know is that Molly gave my Instagram to her to my let's name the ex Barbara. Right, so Molly gives Barbara my Instagram without me knowing, which I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. This is around December, so like I said, like before winter break. Me and my friend, we sneaked out of school because we were bored, and we went somewhere just to hang out. We like me and her, we've been friends for like a couple of months from by then. So, we're hanging out. Winter break starts. I had this thing with someone. It was kind of confusing. It was weird mix up. Boom. The New Year's, New Year's come. I'm like in my house with my mom, chilling, this and that. Pretty cool. And then, boom. Winter break is over. Go back to school. Damn it. Now, by then, like we're friends. I'm friends with Barbara for like weeks. We have not texted, not a single thing. Now, her birthday is in January. Now, because I haven't texted or anything like that, I didn't want to just click on her story because she posted something on her story, right, for her birthday. Which I kind of ignored it, not because I wanted to, but because like I didn't want to come up like a creep, who like stalking people like, oh, you haven't texted me, but you're seeing my stories, which is kind of dumb, but that's like how I think, that's kind of weird. So I ignored it. And school starts again. I go to school, and I'm sitting because like we had gym class together. So I'm waiting inside gym class. I have my headphones on. I'm listening to music. I'm like rocking. She like she sits down like almost right next to me in the waiting room for gym class. The teacher wasn't there, so she sits almost right next to me. She's like, "Oh, did you see did you see my story?" I'm like, no. She was like, Barbara was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you didn't even like say happy birthday to me, this and that. I'm like, oh, it was your birthday? Oh, I didn't know. Obviously, I sort of knew because of her story, but again, like I had no fucking clue as well because like I did not text her at all. So, I just what's it called? I just had her there. So, it was like, oh, you didn't say happy birthday. Oh, you're such a bad friend, this and that. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. It's like, and I asked her like, oh, is there a way I can make it up to you as like a little gift? And it's like, oh no, it's fine, it's whatever, like, it's all sassy. But I was like, oh no, please let me make it up to you. I want to give you something. And then I told her, oh, how about I give you? Because I'm sort of like I like collecting niche things. So I had like this special pen that I have from one of my old teachers back in my old high school before I moved. It was a very nice purple ink pen. So I was like, I valued it like a lot. So I was like, I told her, well, what if I offer this to you as a gift? It's one of my favorite pens. I offer it to you. At first, she's like, no, it's fine. It's all right. Right? I'm like, okay, sure, but the offer still stands. Day went on fine. Here's where stuff got more active, I guess you could say. Right? A couple of days go by after that. Boom. She puts another picture on her story. This time it's her dog. I love dogs. So it was her pet. It's like in a cute position with like a funny song. And we're like, oh, I put kawaii dog, cute dog, funny. She was like, oh, thanks, her name is this. She told me the name of the dog. Like, oh, that's cool. I have a dog too. We were still talking. After that, we just kind of like, brushed it off. A couple of days go by, maybe like 1-2 days. She puts a song that I really liked on her notes, because Instagram allows you to put music in your notes. So she puts a song that I really find cool on her notes. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me like it. And I put on like the reply is like, oh, very cool song. I didn't know you like that type of music. And not even like 10 minutes later, she talks back like, oh yeah, no, I love this music. I love rock. And then we started talking about music. Mind you, I was on the bus, right? Because this was right after a tutoring class. Because I was a sort of a tutor, right? So I'm on the bus to like to the train station. I'm on the bus the entire time I was on the bus. Mind you, this is like a very long trip, so it's like a 40-minute trip, right? The entire time we're texting back and forth on music, right? We're going back, bang, 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 bang. Radiohead, Grahamstein, the German bands, Rammstein, Nirvana, Foo Fighters. Like we're talking bands, right? We're just bands, right? We're just talking. Now, because of that, we just start talking. I'm on the train. We're still talking. Somehow we made it to video games. Turns out, she was sort of like me, right? She liked video games. She even built her own computer. Like she was, because like the thing that I found it surprising is like she was like this cutesy lollipop girl, right? Who you would never expect to have done these things. Like you build your own computer. What? You like the thing is that, right? It's okay to play video games, right? But the thing that surprised me the most is that she played Osu, and she was extremely not just Osu, but Osu Mania, which is like, whoa, okay, hold on, what? Right? 'Cause you see this cute girl, like all cute and this and that, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I played Osu Mania. I'm actually really good at it. What? I'm like, okay, hold on, hold the phone. We need to play. She also played Fortnite as well, right? So I'm like, wait, Fortnite, what the hell? So we started talking about video games. We talking about Persona, this and that. I'm like, okay, cool. We should play together one time. It's like, oh, maybe we can play one day. And it's like, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, I get home. I was like, oh, I get told her, oh, I'm finally home. Yes, long trip, this and that. It's like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what are your plans? I don't know, might just eat, watch TV, maybe play games later. She was like, oh yeah, well, if you want, we can play games later tonight. I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, shit. At the time, I was watching Dexter. So I was like, screw Dexter. I was in season 2. So I was like, screw Dexter. Going to my room, change out, eat dinner, come back, get on the game. I was like, oh, no, I'm ready. Shit. So I get on the game. Alright, I was like, oh, we playing games. We're like, oh, sure. Just hop on. So we play we play Roblox specifically. We play a lot of Roblox during our couple of days. But a lot of Roblox. And we just stay like that for like a long time. We just played Roblox, we talked about relationships, this and that. And yeah, that was until like, oh. Yeah, we just like that. One day, alright, here's where things get like, here's the uphill to the roller coaster. One day, I get out of school. I go home. We're talking. She was like, oh, I have this crush on this very cute guy. He's really tall. He has a nice bum, this and that. He's really cute. He's like very nonchalant. I was like, oh, okay. Like, what's his name? Maybe I can help you. Because she was like telling me how she was like so scared to talk to him. Honestly, I was not getting the fucking hint. It was like my first relationship ever. So like, I'm not getting the fucking hint. But the hint was there. Right? So she's like telling me, oh, this really cute guy. I really want to talk to him, but I can't. And I just can't find myself like telling him. I was like, oh, well, maybe ask your friends. Maybe they can help you. Like, no, but my friends will laugh at me. This and that. I'm like, okay. Well, maybe I could help you. Maybe I know the guy. Describe him. He was like, oh, I'm really tall and nonchalant, this and that. I'm like, oh, well, that really narrows it down. I said sarcastically. He's like, yeah, ha ha ha. But no, seriously, like I don't know how to I don't know how to tell you, but I'm gonna tell you another day. Right? I'm like, oh, okay, well, okay, sure, but just tell. I was like, tell me who the guy is. Maybe I can, try convincing you, like try him to try to push the guy to like kind of talk to you. That was my goal. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this and that. I tell you, it was around February. It was the 1 week before February. So we're talking, and I'm like, we're sort of like, I was trying to narrow it down, sort of in my head, and I was like, oh no, oh my god, just talking about it, the memories, man, holy shit. But yeah, we're talking about it. We're kind of narrowing people down. Well, I am, and then boom, here's where the craziest shit happens, right? I get home. My mom has this little chore for me to do, right? I was like, okay, whatever. Mind you, she's still sending voice notes. We were in the voice note time by then, so she's sending voice notes like, oh, I'm like really nervous, like, and then out of nowhere, right? Because the reason why I said what I'm about to say was just to get it out of my head, just to, like, not get my hopes up. Maybe like, oh, maybe this girl is looking for another guy that's just not me, but trying to, like, maybe I could help her. That was my goal, my end goal, just to, like, get myself out of the picture. I'm like, okay, well, just out of curiosity, I'm not trying to ruin our friendship here, but what if I'm your crush? Right? I said it respectfully, and I hope this doesn't ruin the relationship. It is kind of weird to ask. And I put the phone down. I do my mom's chores. I come back. I see a text, Instagram. It's her. I'm like, whoa. I literally felt like a dad, like when like some dads like have to sit down because like the news are so serious. That's literally how I sat down. I sat down on the couch. I look at my phone. I'm like, oh, it's her. I was literally like batshit nervous. I opened the message. Can we call? Oh, what? I'm like, sure. Give me a second. I'm like going up the stairs hella fast. Boom, close my door. Get in here. I sat down on my computer. I was like, all right, sure. What's up? And I call her like, hey, I'm sure. You want to call? Sure. She calls first. Check this out. So she calls, and she like looks at me. Video call, not just like regular voice call. Video call. So she looks at me for like a second. She starts laughing. Right? They're like, oh my god. Yo, I'm like, okay, yeah, what's up? And by this time, I had a little thing for her. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I did have a little thing for her. I wouldn't say it's so much of a crush, but more of like an attachment. It was because she is pretty cute. So at the end of the day, she is very cute. I just had like a little little attachment, right? It was pretty wholesome. So we're texting, right? I mean, we're in the call. We're in the video call. She looks at me. She was laughing, this and that, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Wait, am I your crush? Like, for real?" She's like, "Oh my god, yes, yes." I'm like, "Oh my god, wait, what the hell?" It's like, "No, I didn't want to tell you just yet because I don't know if you would say no, or yes, or no." And I was like, "Oh, well, I mean, might as well ask." And then she asked, like, "Oh, would you like to, go out together?" So I was like, "Sure, why not?" I went, "Yeah, sure." Because like I said, I did have a little thing for her. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm desperate, It was like, I did have a thing for her. So, we made it official. Mind you, I still remember the date. January 27th. Right? Bam. Official. So, I'm like, damn, I have a girlfriend now. Right? So we made it official then, right there and then. And finally, here's where the birthday thing comes again. So, because I had to offer like my precious pen to her, as a gift, as a makeup. So So I told her, hey, that offer still stand up for that pen. It's like, oh my god, yeah, sure. But in return, I want to give you one of my favorite pens. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But I don't. But she was like, I don't know if you'll use it or not. I was like, I mean, I like pens. I'll probably use the pen. So she gave me the pen. She showed me a picture first. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. Yeah, sure. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is like Friday, so boom, we go to school tomorrow on Friday, and she gives me the pen, which I have right here. Let me show you guys. Here it is, little cutesy pen. And I give her mine. We exchange, and then she goes around telling her friends, "Oh my god, you guys are together, this and that. You guys like make a such a cute couple, this and that." And I was like, "Oh well, thank you. It's pretty wholesome, yeah." Boom, and that happened, right? I'm not gonna go over every detail, But then here's what the shit that kind of brings down the roller coaster of emotions. It was all good, we talked, Here's where shit started to, where I should have started grabbing the hints. Boom. So it's Valentine's Day. It was my first time getting a girl like a Valentine's gift, so I kind of went all out, right? I got her a bouquet of flowers. At the time we were drinking Monster, so I got her favorite Monster, which is the pink one. I got her chocolates. I got her some other candy, because she loves candy. Right? I even got her like one of her favorite chocolates, which is dark chocolate and almonds. So I gave her that. So I'm going all out. I spent that day probably around $50, right? Which is not a lot, but for me it was, because it was my first time giving someone a gift. Right? So I give it to her. We're in school. She was like, "Oh my god." Her mom sends her a text like, "Oh," a text where she's like, something's bad gonna happen at home. And okay, yeah, sure, she told me, well, I don't know if something something bad might happen at home, but I'll let you know. So school ends that day. We all go home. And then boom, Saturday comes. As I'm like, "Hey, good morning. How'd you sleep?" She's like, she responds late, which obviously at the time she had a job, so I didn't really mind. But she ended up responding, "Hey, I slept fine. I'm just at work right now. I'm taking my break, eating a burrito, this and that." And that's the last time I heard of her. Like Saturday, Sunday, I sent her a text, late response, and I'm talking not just like the late response, like, "Oh my god, I forgot." Literally the late response where like, I just did not want to talk to you. So I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, no, she's at work, this and that. Monday we had a day off. So 3 days without seeing her, and like low text, like something ghosting, this and that. I'm guessing, something bad happened at home with her parents. Not like the thing you're thinking of, but something like argument. So Tuesday comes around. She comes into school all depressed. I'm guessing something bad happened this time. They got into the heat of an argument or something like that. Obviously, they didn't want to tell me. So she didn't want to tell me because she was all like, all sad, isn't that? And I'm like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Like, I was like worried about her. I'm like, "No, it's fine. I'm sorry for not texting you less often." Like, I was like, "No, don't even worry about it. I know you're going through your own thing. It's okay." And then, right, she gives me cookies, which I really like, so I ate the cookies, like, right in front of her. I showed her my appreciation for that gift, so I ate them. And she was like, I don't really feel well, so I'm just gonna go home. So she went home. We had like one last class together, but she went home. So I was like, okay, yeah, sure, just be safe. And when she got home, no text. Remind you, I got her to school, and I got no text from her. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm safe at home, this and that," just nothing. I'm like, okay, maybe she went to sleep, this and that. She is like a bit of a sleepy Joe, so she probably went to sleep. After a couple of days go by, she's distant, right? I'm like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, I noticed you're more distant, this and that." And like, oh my god, I'm like, I'm worried about her, right? And you're like, oh, if something goes on with your parents, you gotta speak up. You can open up to me, and like, I'm completely fine hearing you out. Yeah, I understand, like, there's not about the people you can probably trust, but I'm here to like listen, and I was genuine, and she's like, yeah, sure, it's just like something I'm not really like willing to open up right now. I was like, fine, it's kind of hard for me to open up. It's something like family wise. I was like, okay, yeah, I understand. When I said I understand, I meant like, yeah, I understand. You don't want to talk about it, but then, I am willing to hear you. So she's like more distant, right? She's going distant. There was this one thing that kind of brought like a little salt to the wound. Not salt to the wound, but just like added spice to that distant. Apparently, one of her friends told her that me and my homie, that, my friend that I told before the winter break, um, apparently she waited for me after class because she waited for me after class. Obviously, they didn't know the context of that. I knew the context. My friend was going through a rough time as well with like her, like with some shit going on with her family. But they didn't know that. I did. They didn't. So for her, it's like, oh wait, you're cheating on me. So I'm like, wait, no. It's just that I told her. I didn't tell her like exactly what was happening, but I did tell her, my friend is going through a rough time, and she have no one to talk to, so she talked to me, and it was like, oh, okay, like all sour, distant, like. I'm like, oh, well, I like, mind you, I'm like horrible at reading feelings, so I had no idea what the hell like she meant, right? So I was like, okay. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have probably told you, I should have been more clear. It's like, oh yeah, well, tell her to back off. I'm like, I'm sure, yeah, okay. I told my friend, yeah, my girlfriend says you need to like, make your distance. So that I was like, oh wait, I thought I was already. My friend was just like, she was just as confused as I was. Because I thought she was pretty distant. But my friend was like giving us space, right? Which she was. She really was. And I was like, yeah, you're fine, but just, I guess give us more space. I was just confused. So I'm like, okay, that happened. Now, here's where stuff got a bit more crazy. It got to a point where I would send a text at like maybe, let's say, 10 a.m. on like a weekend. Mind you, by like the middle of February, she had quit her job because she had worked there too much, and it was like overworking her, so she had no job. She was just at home. So I would text her like around like 10 a.m. because like the time she would usually wake up, and I literally tell you, she would not respond throughout the whole day. Like, mind you, I'm like texting like, hey, are you okay? Are you fine? She would not respond until like 8 p.m. It was like, oh no, I'm sorry, I just been busy, this and that. I'm like helping my family. I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand. Boom. Senior meeting for high school. Now this is where stuff really got heavy. So there was a mandatory senior meeting for high schoolers. I go. Before the meeting, I saw her sitting at a bench. I'm like, hey, oh my god, what are you doing here? I was like, oh yeah, well, I'm here for a meeting. Mind you, she's not even looking at me. She's on her phone, on Twitter, X. So she's not even looking at me at that point. So I'm like, yeah, sure. We just like we just had that in silence, and legit, her friend comes over. Her best friend comes over. Right? Not Molly, just one of her friends. I'm too lazy to name. But one of her friends come over. It's like, oh my god, hey, what are you guys doing here? It's like, we're waiting for the senior meeting. And a couple minutes after she arrives, the senior meeting starts. So I was like, oh wait, hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna go get my jacket. I'm like, oh, they're probably waiting for me. I'll go to the classroom, pick up my jacket. They're not there. I'm like, okay, sure. Now, they're sitting at the table, right? They're on a table in the They're sitting on the table. Now, I don't know what was going on, like why they just didn't think of me. So I left them alone. It was just those two, like just them two sitting on that table. I went to sit at another table, like far from them, and I just gave her the glare. And I glare. It's just like, why? Like in my head, I'm like, why didn't you wait for me? I'm like, I told you to wait. I told you guys to wait. But I was like, whatever, it's fine. We do have a senior meeting, and without even reacting, she dips. I didn't even see her leave. Right? And it's only until I asked her friend that she was with, like, oh, what happened to Barbara? She's like, oh no, she left. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And I'm like, okay, and I asked her like, hey, do you know what's up with her? Like, she's been very distant. I told her she can speak up to me. It was like, and then she sort of gives me a hint, like, oh, she said she's had a rough time with her family, a lot of arguments, her brother, stuff like that. Right? And it's like, this and that. Mind you, that friend that I'm talking about right now, she's gonna be important later. All right, so boom, it's all normal. Same thing happens. I text her, no response until around March 3rd ish. In that week, I approached that friend. Mind you, like by now, Barbara's not even talking to me, like at all. Not even texting, not even calling. Mind you, we used to call like almost like frequently, or like make the time to call. But now nothing. Not even a text, nothing. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm trying to give her space. Her space. I was in dual enrollment at the time, so and she was as well. So at the time I talked to Barbara's friend, she was in her class at the college. So she was like, hey, have you seen Barbara? She's like, oh yeah, her class ended. And I was like, oh yeah, she probably went somewhere. She gets locked in, this and that. I'm like, okay. Hey, I wanted to tell you this, but like, yeah, Barbara isn't feeling really well. She actually told me that she's not really ready for a relationship right now. Sorry, and that like, she doesn't want to bring me. She doesn't really bring you. She doesn't want to bring you down. In her feelings because she's like very sensitive about that. I'm like, okay. Obviously, I didn't take it to heart because, if she wanted to say that, she could have texted me or pulled me in person. But no, so I didn't really take it to heart. She, but by the way, she told me like, you should like tell her like you wanna like end things right now because like, it's really hard for her to do that. I'm like, oh well, I'll talk to her. Obviously, I wasn't just gonna like, hey, you want to break up because your friend said so. No, I gave it a little bit more time. Until one day, we're talking. And then I sent her a text like, hey, you mind when we talk a little? She's like, yeah, sure, what's up? And we just start talking. And boom, I throw the ball in the court, right? Imagine this. Imagine we're in the basketball court. She's on this side, I'm on this side, right? I throw the basketball at her, right? I throw the ball. Hey, is it true that you want to break up with me, or like you want to end things because you want to bring me down? And she's like texting is like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in my family. I didn't want to bring you down with it as well. I just don't have the time for a relationship right now, and I'm so sorry for ghosting you and not calling you ever again. It's just that it's been a lot on my plate. I'm like, she throws the ball back at me. I'm like, oh yeah, I completely understand, but is that really something to break up with? I mean, I don't mind. I mean, you can just talk to me about things. I'm willing to hear about it. Give you some type of advice. I'll throw that ball back at her. Right? I'm like, well, it's really hard. It's kind of hard. I mean, I don't really talk about it with my friends so much as like my close friend. It's just like that, and it's like, oh, she throws the ball back at me. I'm like, oh well. Then I tell her, Barbara, it was nice dating you for 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks, by the way. I'm so sorry that you're going with what you're going with, and it was nice knowing you, right? Boom. Game is closed. We break up. Right? Obviously, I was really sad. Like, I remember that day I went home. I told my mom. She was like, "You'll get over with." Last time I told my mom stuff about, because, like, what the hell? She was like, yeah, I told her, yeah, sure. I'll probably get over with. Come to my room, lay on my bed, bawl my eyes out. Because I was just so sad because, like I said in Valentine's Day, I spent a lot of time for her. Like, I was so attached. I let myself get so attached, right? That I just didn't see the signs. The signs were there after, like, the Valentine's Day thing. The signs were there. She got distant. But I was just too attached and blind to see the things, right? And it was so devastating for me. It was like, damn, fuck, I cried. Mind you, this is the beginning of March. So I graduated in June. So I have literally all that time to spend time with her. I mean, to, see her. And oh my God, was it rough. I was in a very low point in my life. Which is like, why? It's your first relationship. Because it was my first, I felt so sad. I have never done this before. I have never felt like that before. I have never spent so much time with someone like that before. So I was so devastated. I just didn't want to... I got to a point where I didn't even want to go to school. I wanted to rebel. Right? I just didn't want to... I didn't feel like going up to school anymore. Because I'll see her. And if I see her, I'll get sad. Even more sad than I am. So I was like, fuck, I have to go to school. And it got bad. It got really bad. And then I talked to my dad about it. He said, "Victor, I understand, but it's hard. I understand. I completely understand. It's completely reasonable." My dad was a bit more understanding because he went through something like that as well. And the thing that punched me in the gut even more times every single day until the end of June, until graduation, was that every time I played video games, or played video games, listened to music that we both listened to, just the things that we had common interest in, became a memory that punched me in the gut every single time. And every time I remembered, it was even like more sad for me, because it was things that I genuinely enjoyed that were now, I guess, quote unquote, ruined because of her, because it had her essence in it. It had her in it. I played games with her. I listened to music with her. It got so rough with me. And I just couldn't, believe it was over just like that. It got to a point where I stopped using my phone for 3 weeks. That's right. It was it got to that point. Just made me a mental reset. Nothing. Everything reminded me of her. Even this pen. Even the pen reminded me of her. It belonged to her, it belongs to me. It's insane. It's insane. It was something. Sorry for the pause. My friend was texting me. But it was just so sad. Right? I couldn't enjoy things. Now, here's the thing that I still don't understand. And not that I don't understand, it's just that it angered me. I was stuck with her on my mind for months. Mind you, from March to June. Well, not even June, probably July. That's how long it took me just for me to move on. July. Right? It took her maybe for a month. she was back to normal. Like, not normal, but like just back to herself. She was laughing. She was talking to her friends more. She was like still a bit distant to some of her friends, but she's like trying to be like more open. I'm like, what? She was acting as if like nothing happened, as if like it never happened. And there was one thing that she did that pissed me off. She was like, "Well, you know I still like you, right? But I'm just not ready for a relationship right now." Or like, "But if you want, we can, just hang out and be friends." And I'm in my head, I'm like, "What? Fuck you mean wouldn't be friends? Like, I shared my deepest feelings with you. You want to be friends? No, I don't want to be friends. I want to be a thing again." But obviously that can't happen. So I'm like, yeah, I guess. I text her that. She was like, okay, sure. We can still play games. Mind you, we haven't played since. It's been like, it's about to be almost a fucking year. We haven't played since. So, mind you, in the thing, another thing to like that everything to the bit where I'm like everything reminded me of her. She had this special like lotion, right? It was from Victoria's Secret, and ever since I smelt it on her, I smelt it everywhere, and I smelt it everywhere. And because I had this mental image of her in my head, every time I had that scent on my nose, Barbara would come up. I'm like, damn. It got to a point that even my mom got mad at me because me and my mom and my stepdad, we went to go out to eat. And this obviously this girl who had the same smell. I was like, damn. And I was like all happy, and then like I smelt it, bam, got sad. Honestly, my mom was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, "Well, there was this girl that had the same smell as Barbara." And she's like, "Oh, you'll get over it. Don't worry." See what I mean? So then, during those times I was really down. I did a couple of things that I honestly I should have done. Not like bad criminal things, but just things that I shouldn't have done. And then we graduated. We spoke for like a little bit, and I wanted to say my proper goodbye to her, like as like an official, like kind of like in a way of like giving up on her. So I was like, hey, you think like, cause that we graduated on a Thursday, so I was like, hey, you think we can meet up on Fridays? I'll invite you to McDonald's, as friends. She was like, yeah, sure. I'll show up. Friday comes, she's not there. I can't go. My parents won't allow me. I'm kind of trapped. I'm like, oh well, yeah, sure, okay. At that point, I kind of didn't believe her, cause you kind of had to go on Friday to school to pick up your diploma, but whatever. She couldn't go. So I was just sad. I couldn't get the words out of my chest to like tell her, basically tell her I give up on you. It was nice, like really nice knowing you, but I finally give up. My friend is texting me right now. It's kind of annoying. But it was just something. And to end the story short, I'm already recording for 43 minutes. I'm not going to edit this, by the way. I'm just going to put it out there raw. But just end the story short, we don't talk. Now I don't have the same feelings for her, obviously, that I once did, Now it's just kind of like, okay, she's there. I guess she just exists. Sometimes there are times where I'm like, damn, I look at her, like, I see her on Instagram. I look at her, I'm like, damn, she was really like my girl, right? She was really my girl. But then I realized, like, damn, it's over. Kind of moved on. And it's just devastating because it was something really special that lasted so short. And I don't know. I don't think I can like feel that way with another person. Like next time, if there is ever a next time, I'll try not to get too attached because the more attached I get, like the more it will hurt. That's one thing I took away from this is like if you get too attached to the point that you can't see the signs, then it's gonna hurt a lot. And yeah, that's really it. It's just something I wanted to share with YouTube. Really, I don't know why. I think it's just something I wanted to just say something to like have it out on the internet because like on Instagram obviously I can't post this because she'll see it, but just out somewhere, just out somewhere. And if she sees it on YouTube, well, okay, sure. I doubt it, but sure, you know. I don't really care. I'll try to be like her birthday's going up again, January. I don't know. I guess I'll just tell her happy birthday and that's it. Like I'll try not to get too involved, you know. Which I mean, by this time I don't feel anything at all. Like I'm feeling dead, but it's haunting. It's haunting for sure. It's like a ghost that sometimes you feel it like you feel it near you, but then once you finally observe the ghost and like see it or like feel its presence, you're no longer scared of it. Right, but it is you do know that there's a ghost, but you should know how scary that ghost is. That's how I feel it for me. But yeah, it's something I just wanted to share out to the people of YouTube. You know, uh, yeah, that's it. I doubt people will watch how like the 47-minute video this is about to be, but to the ones who made it this far, hello. Consider subscribing, like I guess. I don't know. I don't really care. Um, leave a comment. Type I made it this far if you made it this far, and yeah. Have a nice day. I guess. I don't know. I'll see if I can keep uploading stuff like that. In the meantime, well, see you guys. Bye.